Hello and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart as well as Bitcoin's price action. So starting off with fear and greed, as you guys can see, we are still in this downtrend from greed into fear. So we keep making lower highs as well as lower lows. Going over to the price of Bitcoin, been watching this closely on the daily, and something that you'll notice really ever since we've gone underneath the 50, that Bitcoin, the price candle, this is on the Fibonacci candles, has not closed above it. Yes, we've had a couple wicks, but even with the buy signal, we are struggling to get above it. So I am wondering if this is about to start coming down. Again, we do have a lower or a higher low here, excuse me. So this possibly could be time for a reversal of the trend. But if Bitcoin is going to struggle to get above the 50 and come back down below the 100, I don't think that's looking too good. And maybe we will end up seeing this price at around, this is the 200-day moving average at around 53. And we have some price action here before. We have a wick that came up to 53 before. So that's kind of my worst case scenario. I am hoping to see a possible reversal of trend here. Again, going back to the crypto fear and greed, if we zoom way out, you guys can see that we're getting back down to the neutral territory overall. At least it seems headed that way. And we really haven't been underneath this 40 mark in quite some time. As you take a look back here, this section right here, which coincidentally enough was when Bitcoin last made a new all-time high. So when Bitcoin broke the all-time high in 2017, or of 2017 and 2020, this area right here was that time when it climbed from December, the new all-time high, until April, March, April, around 65K. But we haven't seen really any closes on fear underneath this 40 level for the longest time, and it most closely resembles this. So we are inching closer to that. Just something to be aware of. Maybe there's going to be some flash sells before pumping back up. We will see. I would like to see this climb and stay higher. When we stay higher and accumulate in greed, then higher prices tend to come quicker after that. When we just spike and then go down, this was that 2019 mid-cycle top. Going over to the rainbow chart, because that's what this video is all about. What I'm showing you right there, this was the time that in 2020 it broke that former all-time high in 2017, and when we didn't see fear for a while. So we have gone up, but if you notice, we're not here in the red zones. We're just down here in the yellow and green zone, kind of like the mid-cycle top in 2019. If this was a mid-cycle top, even with creating a new all-time high, wouldn't that be something? A lot of people would not see that coming. So just a couple different scenarios to keep an eye on. Again, I'm thinking that 52K because how much price structure there is there, as well as this fib, and we have the 200-day moving average. It's a lot of strong support. So that's why I'm looking at this as kind of the last spot standing. But if we go over to the weekly, we also want to take a look at the 50-week moving average. For a lot of stocks, it can still go down to the 50-week moving average and spike off and keep going. When we have bullish momentum in stocks, you'll see strong stocks tag the 20, that's the red line, and keep going up. But sometimes they do come down to the 50. So going over, let's just say something like Microsoft, you can see how much it goes off the 20. Now, the strong stocks, when they do go under the 50, that's when things look or turn bearish. Look at this, so you can see how many times it comes off the 20. But we did have these couple times that even Microsoft did bounce off the 50. So if Bitcoin did get somewhere around the 50-week, sorry about that, email notification. If it did get somewhere around the 50-week moving average, look at that, it had a bounce there back after that first stop. I don't think that'd be the worst thing. That's, for me, the ultimate worst case scenario, even still while maintaining a bull market. But again, anything is possible in crypto. We have been very strong staying above the 50. And right now it's just been going to the 20. So yeah, watch the 20 moving average on the daily, like I showed you the 53K. But ultimate worst case scenario, I'd be eyeing the 50 right here. Going over back to the Bitcoin rainbow chart. So we just had the halving. And as you guys can see, from the time that we have the halving until the next top does take a little bit of time on average. And I did mark that out. So these white lines are the halvings. These yellow lines are the new cycle highs. So anytime Bitcoin breaks its previous all-time high, I mark that with the yellow line. What I've noted, and you can go back, watch the other videos, I don't want to spend too much time showing this, but if you take the average amount of time from the halving to the ultimate cycle all-time high, took those numbers from the prior cycles, averaged them out, that puts us at August of 2025 for the next top. Now, inversely, if you go from breaking the new all-time high, this yellow line, until the next cycle top, and remember, this is the first time we had a new all-time high or a break and made a new all-time high before the halving. But if you average out from the new all-time high to the next cycle top, that puts us in later December if you take those averages. So the way I look at this, I don't want to get caught up too much in the prediction game. And as you can see there's two different predictions. We either have August of 25 or December 24. The way I kind of look at this is maybe this is just a range and the top is going to be somewhere in here. So let's go over to the Bitcoin rainbow chart and look at that. And for me, conservatively speaking, I would be looking at the second red line or this first orange line as far as where price could go. And as far as where that be, so, sorry, this thing's a little touchy sometimes. All right, does it go that far out? Cool. So August of 25. You can see it goes as high as 300K almost, 296K, but the orange box as low as 176. All right, that's pretty good if it were to get up all the way that high, even if you're just thinking of the orange boxes right there. It's still pretty good, 140 to 227K. But if we go to later this year, let's say the top's in December, and we take a look at the orange and red box, 143 to 242K, the orange and red box. Again, conservatively speaking, you can take a look just at the orange boxes, like 112K to 185. The reason I think that's interesting to note is if we go back to Bitcoin here, and I'm going to take this fib. Now, by the way, the fib tool is right back here. If you draw from the prior high to low, and this works for other assets as well, it works for NVIDIA as far as price targets that have been hit. When you're taking a look between price action from the prior high to low, I keep my fibs on log scale, but when you're looking for possible new tops, I take it off log scale. And you can see some of these extensions, the 2618 at 156, that's right in that range. The 3618 at 209, that's in that range. And the 4236, I think that's the ultimate best case scenario. My opinion, maybe it goes higher. It'd be lovely if it did, at 243. You can see back here, the 3618 from the prior high to low took Bitcoin to around 63K. Now, that was awfully close to the very top here that we had in April 21. And this truly was alt season. So all things being equal, if we only get up to the 3618, that's about 209. And maybe we only get up to the 2618 because diminishing returns, that's what the Bitcoin rainbow chart shows, is that we don't get as crazy of gains as we did in the past. Now, again, I would love if the price were to go higher, but I'm just trying to be realistic here, not say Bitcoin to 500K like they've been calling for since 2017. Excuse me. So right in here, the 2618 and the 3618 are kind of my targets. Going back over to the rainbow chart, let's just find an area in the middle. Let's say March 25. Where would that put us? That would put us right at that orange box, roughly speaking. Maybe a touch into the red box, but the 155K to 200K. So you guys can see we were here in this very top red box, red rainbow line. And by the way, a logarithmic chart, that it goes up by factors of tens. So that's how this rainbow chart works. Blockchaincenter.net, go and check them out. They got a lot of great stuff. As you can see here, it was the upper part of this red band. Then it was into the reddish orange band, top of the orange. So let's just say the orange band, again, we're going to somewhere in March. Let's just pick a spot in the middle. 156 to 200K. That lines up right in here, which is really interesting to me. So that's why, in my opinion, those are going to be areas I'm going to be looking at taking profits with any altcoins I have. Now, it's also important to note, but even though we only have 2 data points, Bitcoin dominance. This is the overall percentage of crypto money that's in Bitcoin. 55.36% of crypto money is in Bitcoin. When the dominance tanks, you can see the dates at the bottom. That's when alt season is on. We have these trend lines coming from the prior peaks in dominance. So I'm looking at 57, 58 as a base case before it would tank again. And I don't know if it's going to tank fast like it did these last 2 times, somewhere between 2 weeks to 2 months. But if dominance tanks, I'm looking at taking profits from altcoins, personally. Now, speaking of altcoins, blockchaincenter.net, they also have an alt season index. And overall, we're still relatively low. And for a lot of altcoins, they are at their 200-day moving average or below. Now, some of the charts don't look too great, but if we do have another alt season like we did in 2017, in 2021, then it's still early. It's still early to buy some of these altcoins. A lot of people are going to be buying in when we're peaking up here. That's not the time. The time to dollar cost average in could be now. And a way to measure all the altcoins, you can go to Total 3, see altcoin market without Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it looks almost exactly like Ethereum. You can see we're still in this weekly sell signal coming down to the 20. And below that, we have some price structure, the 50, the 100. If things got really bad, maybe we come down here. And if it did, I'd still be dollar cost averaging into some alts like I am right now. Going over to the daily, look at this, Total 3. It's right between the 100 and the 50, kind of like Bitcoin as well. So going down to the 200, look at that. We have the 0.5 fib, a little bit of price structure underneath it, but we have a fib and a strong moving average right there. So if it did come down there, and it has before, then we may see some further deep value on altcoins that you like. So again, Bitcoin kind of stuck here. Same with the alt market. I'm a little worried about these lower highs. I was hoping this would be a possible reversal of trend and then we get back up. I'm still hoping for that. It's kind of do or die time. I don't want to sound dramatic because I just showed you with the rainbow chart that the tops from the halving, again, around the 4-year cycle, the average would put us at August 25. From the new all-time high, that put us at December this year. And so even if we go down for a few months, like let's say through summertime or whatever, that's okay. That gives us more time to accumulate and get in, because a lot of people were FOMOing in here. They're worried they're going to miss out, and we've just been bleeding out. So hopefully we're going to get a reversal of trend sometime soon. But the fact we're not making it over the 50-day moving average, do watch for this 53 level. As far as rainbow chart, anything else I wanted to take a look at? Again, guys, you can just see here how we have these 4-year cycle peaks. Now, it doesn't mean this was the very top of Bitcoin. It's about 4 years, roughly speaking. Does not mean it has to be exactly there. And like I said, alt season was in here. So maybe that range in between, 4-year peak right there, that would put us at March of 2021, which again is right in the middle of where, of March 25 is right in the middle of where our prediction range would be. So that's what I'm eyeing a year from now. I think the price of Bitcoin is going to be very interesting. And something else to note, this has been popping off in the news lately this week. And by the way, I am not buying any of this stuff. I don't recommend it. But maybe you've seen how the meme stocks are back. GameStop, what's the other ones? AMC. People are buying BlackBerry, old stocks that really don't have as much value as they did before. But what was the last time this all pumped? Now, we had the COVID stimulus money flooding the system and a bunch of stocks. PayPal, Shopify, there's a bunch of stocks. Etsy, Pinterest. You guys get my point. Bunch of stocks were going crazy. This is when Bitcoin and all season happened too. Again, look at the dates at the bottom, March and April. And we are also getting a spike in GameStop. So I'm wondering if there's going to be another correlation if the meme stocks beginning to pop off. Now look at this. There was still some time when they began to pop off. That was about 175 days. So let's say we have something similar. 175 days. Where would that put us? You see at the bottom, later this year, October 24, somewhere around there. Closer to that first part. Again, maybe it's just a coincidence. Doesn't mean this has anything to do with crypto. But when a bunch of money is flooding in to garbage meme stocks, just be careful and do watch what crypto does. Is it going to be kind of correlated to the price action like it was before? I don't know. But I'm going to keep an eye on it to see if it is. So anyways, guys, I'm going to keep it as a short video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're all doing well, and have a great day.